conversation on integral consciousness, spiritual ecology and generative learning. Ben, Zoe and myself would like to share with you about a recent project on spiritual ecology and where we'd like to take it next. So Ben, would you like to introduce yourself?
Right, yes, thank you. I'm Ben Weiss. I'm a social ecologist. I do dances of universal peace. I teach meditation. I do many kinds of Sufi practices as well as yogic practices and Buddhist practices. And I'm very connected to the earth through my garden and through the ocean. I spend time there. And I'm very much into living my life and in a very embodied way.
And I'm Zoe Campbell, and I'm a high-tech yogi, very much into computers and have been for all throughout my career, many years, and also into yoga and Ayurveda and Buddhist practices. And the Buddhist and the yoga brings me back down to earth from the computing.
So I'm Nicola Lambert. I am a social ecologist, a transpersonal psychotherapist and coach. So transpersonal is an eclectic term for exploring all the different spiritual traditions, ancient and modern, that connect us to the universalities of our existence. So Ben and I began a project. So Ben, would you like to take us a little bit into that project?
Okay, so we're basically looking at ecology and spirituality. This was a subject that was originally part of a social ecology program at University of Western Sydney. It's no longer there in that form, and so we decided to do it ourselves. And I was very interested in the work of Zoe Campbell, who wrote a book called The Ever-Present Origins, which is a wonderful tome, and it looks at structures of consciousness. And it basically looks at how in this day we're moving out of what he called the mental consciousness, which has become rather destructive, into an integral consciousness. So a lot of problems that exist in the world today can be attributed to the mental consciousness in this decayed form. And his work is about how we need to bring in a new consciousness, an integral consciousness, which was influenced by people like Sri Aurobindo, a great yogi from India, around 1950 he passed on. But Auroville was created out of his work, and Gebser's work has got a lot of recognition as one way of taking us forward. So we created a series of workshops using the chakras, using yoga theory, using theories of also using dances of universal peace, other kinds of theories to embody this and to give people an experience of different structures of consciousness. And then we did these workshops, and most recently we did a 6-week workshop where we had participants each week getting together, and we did meditation practices, walking practices, dancing, reflection, artwork, and a lot of things came out of that, didn't they? Would you like to say something about that?
Yes, well, in terms of exploring these ideas at the cultural level, we really wanted to make this course an exploration of these ideas at a deeply personal level. We wanted to create space where people could be connecting to the evolution of new consciousness for themselves, and to do that we really need to explore what the consciousness is that we're living within, like swimming in the fishbowl of our consciousness. We had to explore, each participant had to explore what that was for themselves. So as we went through each week, people could get a relationship to the layers, the archaic, the magical, the mythical, the mental, and see how this was actually being lived in their lives. So kind of deconstructing it before reconstructing it. We found that people were very willing and courageous to explore where their forms of consciousness are actually producing a lot of deficiencies in not only their own life, but in their connection to nature. And the whole journey was to support them to be able to let go of those deficient forms and let come a new consciousness which was more effective and harmonious in their lives, but also harmonious to the ecology in which we live.
So maybe Zoe, you actually did our last course. Maybe you could give a little bit of a summary of what your experience was.
Yes, I was very fortunate to come along to the course, and I didn't have much of an idea really what it was about. I had no concept of actually linking my spirituality up with ecology and with sustainability, and becoming depleted in this society that I'm in, that we're all in, and all of us connecting together in a group, and different people, other participants talking about what their connection was with ecology and with the environment and what fills us up, and instead of running around with half a cup, learning what does fill me up. And it was a beautiful course. It was very connecting myself to others, and connecting myself to myself, and connecting to the universe and to the land. It's beautiful that way.
Well, that's good to hear, because that was really our intention, as we said in a YouTube we did earlier about this, that we wanted people to reconnect with the spirituality, with the ecology, with nature, with themselves. And so this is a process we feel can really heal some of the dysfunction that's in the world today, and some of the terrible news we hear. This is a way of dealing with it within ourselves without getting overwhelmed by the despair, without going into psychic numbing and things like that. So now we've got another course planned, and that's what we're doing this video for, is to really give some ideas of where we're going to go next. So what ideas have you got about that?
Yes, so as Zoe so beautifully said, it's about really emptying the cup initially in order to learn what fills the cup in sustainable and nourishing ways. So as well as having a lot of wonderful processes that allow us to shed, we've got music and dance and movement and meditation and art and story making around the birthing of this new consciousness. So, so not only learning a new mythology to hold the sustainability, but the ways to keep filling up our cup, and that they're unplugged, sustainability unplugged, nurturing unplugged.
Because often we don't know what fills us up, and we can get into a relationship with another person and expect them to know what we need. And if we don't even know what we need ourselves, how can the other person even begin to give it? So it is about learning what creates or enthuses my creativity, and what fills me up and gives me energy to go on to be able to give. If I've only got a quarter of a cup, I'm not going to be able to give very much, and we are all interconnected.
Well, that's right. So that's very much the principle of ecology, that we're all interconnected, interrelationships. And so that's what we're going to be exploring even further. So we encourage you to come along to have a look at this process, because people who've done this workshop, we recently produced a paper which we presented at a symposium on sustainability, got very good feedback, because unlike a lot of the other academic work, ours was practical. It was about an embodied process. And we could see that people changing lives, and people were integrating that into their lives and clearly getting a benefit from these new ways of understanding, which in fact the whole planet is needing at this time. So this is our invitation for you to continue this conversation with us. So thank you.